Good morning, you guys. So it is 10:45. We're going to be headed to the barn soon, but I just need to make some horse feed. We had a phone call this morning, a very exciting one that I'm not going to say anything about until we know for a fact what's going on. So yeah, I gotta love an exciting phone call, but in particular from this company. Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I don't want to get my hopes up. And as y'all can see, and hopefully hear, we have some upgrades in this vlog today. So we've got a new camera, and we have a new way to hold the phone so my arm does not get as tired as quickly. And it is not only a selfie stick, but it is also a tripod. So yeah, and that way I can still use my vlogging camera to record my rides, and then my cell phone to keep in my pocket, and track my rides with Equilab. Today, the plan goes that we are going to be trying Cameo in her new bit, the Agadore's Calm Green, Egg Butt, Barrel, or Miler, whatever you want to call it. And then Bam Bam seemed pretty sound yesterday, so I'm gonna double check to make sure that she is in fact sound. And if she is, then we'll give her a quick ride. Nothing crazy. I think we'll just do some dressage, flat work, maybe some poles. If she is sound. If she's not sound, then I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the farrier a text message and be like, hey, I think she's got a hot nail. Can you come out and come check it out? And if it's not a hot nail, then we'll have to contact the vet. Horses, right? So let me take you along while I make horse feed real quick. Okay, so this is my feed room. Fit check. Hold on, fit check. Wait, where did it go? Oh, I think it's on my back. Free ride. These are really old breeches. I think I've had them for like going on 3 years now. Yeah, look at my super nasty dirty buckets. I don't know, bucket Fortiflex, sponsor me. Give me some new buckets. And like Cameos are all bent because Cameo likes to step on her buckets if I leave them in there. This one's also bent, and this is also Cameo's. So yeah, this is my feed room. Some people would also call this a garage. You can see how nasty messy it is in here. So this is Neutrina Proforce Fuel XF. £5 of that. That's Bam Bam. Here's Cameo. And they eat the same exact thing. £5. This is Alfalfa Timothy pellet. I'm gonna have to go pick some more up soon. And then I don't have a container for this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the pellets and then I'm going to mix them in with the Timothy in the future. I don't even know if you guys can see me. I might be like standing too high up. Y'all might just be getting just my boobs. I do about that much. So just to like right here. And these are just plain shreds. How do I have less? How did I get less in here? There we go. That's the only thing I don't like about this is how hard it is to scoop. Maybe I'll try a different scoop next time. Then Dak Bloom. We do they get 2 scoops of this a day, so 1 scoop per feeding. This is just a fat and protein supplement. And then when we get closer to competition, I increase it, so I'll give them anywhere from 3 to 4 scoops instead. Then we have Dak Electro Aid. This is oily at the bottom. They're also just getting 2 scoops a day right now because they're in light work. Maintenance, no riding, limited or no riding, 1 ounce, 1 scoop per horse per day. Light exercise, 2 ounces, 2 scoops per horse per day. Moderate, 3 ounces, and then intense 4. Like for Cameo, when she was over at Warhorse, she got a full 4 scoops because she needed it. She was so sweaty, and we needed to replace those electrolytes. Finally, this is one that I'm discontinuing, but wheat germ oil from Animed. It's just a source of vitamin E because our hay is very sufficient, very full of selenium, but we have very low vitamin E naturally out here. So a lot of the times selenium and vitamin E are sold together, and very rarely they're sold separately. And so this is an opportunity where it could be purchased separately. And then I just mix it. Okay, so we're at the barn. We've got 2 ponies coming. It is almost noon. Good Lord, it took me a long time to get ready this morning. It's not sunny, but it's very bright out. Like, my eyeballs kind of hurt. We're gonna feed some horses some late breakfast because someone felt like sleeping in and it wasn't any of my horses. I'm getting cut off by Cameo right now. Hey, do you want to eat? She's like, no. Bam Bam wants to eat. She still looks a little bit off, I'm not gonna lie. I might put her in the round pen and see if I'm making things up. It would really suck if she was still off though. Come on. And apparently there's an event going on over here today, but I don't see anyone. Maybe it's not until later, who knows. Sometimes these events are like a little bit crazy. Cameo, oh, you just got smacked by a tail. If Bam Bam is still lame, and it's not the shoe, then I don't know. I don't know what else it could be. I think it's a hot nail. That's what I think it is. I think it's a hot nail, or that he cut her toe a little bit, her back feet a little bit too short, so she's a little bit tender. Oh my goodness. Cameo, you can't just stop right at the gate. Okay. I've got 2 little terrors Give me one moment. I'm going to need my hands for this.
Alrighty, so this is the Agador's Calm Green Egg Butt Snapple. This is my first time feeling it. Oh, there's like, is this actually snapped? Oh, that's interesting. I might need 2 hands. Okay. This was actually snapped in place, so it like holds the bit down. Put that in between my legs. So yeah, this is like a rubbery, I mean, it's not even that soft. I thought it would be softer. This is copper. It's got a little copper roller in it as well. I don't know, I feel like it's really not that much different than what we have her in right now, other than the fact that it is a fixed cheek piece, because the other one is an O-ring. This is, oh, so these, okay, these move independently and have a very mild port to it, because she's got a little bit of a lower palate. I like, this moves quite nicely. I do like that. It is a very pretty bit, I'll give it that. Like, aesthetically, it looks quite nice. It does not look like, some of these bits look a little bit cheap, in all honesty, and I think there's like, maybe with the rubbery stuff, kind of like that, like just some manufacturing things. I'm sorry, my fingernails are dirty. But yeah, overall I do like the bit. I did just want to insert this. This is a photograph from their website, and it doesn't look like what I received, you know? Like, the cheek piece is definitely more fixed onto the bit with the bit that I got compared to the bit that's in the pictures. It is $79.90 on their website. I believe it comes from Canada. The other thing that I'll show you is the side view. If you look at the side view, the port is very dramatic in the side view photo. The rubbery coating also appears thicker in the photo as opposed to the bit that I got. It does say on the website that it is a 12 millimeter thickness, which I prefer a thinner bit for her because she has such a low palate and a smaller mouth. So just reading the description off of the website, it says the Calm Green mouthpiece is a combination of stainless steel barrel with a copper strip and our signature green rubber covered cannons. The cannons of the bit move independently to create a precision and communication between the rider and the horse while minimizing pressure on the tongue. Just like the Calm Blue and Calm Ride mouthpieces, the Calm Green rotates 360 degrees around the barrel. However, the mouthpiece moves less inward, making it more stable and exert even less tongue pressure. The copper strip on the barrel enhances taste and sensation in the middle of the tongue without adding extra movement or pressure points. Egg butt cheek pieces are often preferred by young horses or those who require more stability in the mouth than the loose ring offers. This bit is a good starting mouthpiece for horses with a limited space between tongue and palate, those with most sensitive tongues needing precision, and those that require a barrel link but have a preference towards rubber-coated bits. This bit is not suitable for horses with very sensitive bars, which I don't think Cameo does have. I mean, I think she's sensitive overall, but I think this has been, I mean, it's worked. Y'all are gonna see in my riding video, I think the rubber material does actually make a difference. So I just wanted to point out that the bit just looks a little bit different than what I received compared to their website. I'm not entirely upset by it. I would have liked to have gotten accurate pictures because, in all honesty, the name, like on the metal in the photograph, the name being stamped, the size of the bit being stamped onto the bit itself, to me looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit classier. And then I receive the bit and it doesn't look like that at all. The egg butt, like the cheek piece, is wider and flat, and the rubber has the size and the name stamped onto it, so it doesn't look as professional or as clean or as pretty as the pictures. I will say that in person, the port is a lot less dramatic to it, or the more the bend of the bit is a lot less harsh, and I like that actually in person as opposed to the photographs. I think it's a little bit softer in the mouth. So that's just something I want to say. I do like the fact that the cheek piece itself, like the connection of the cannon to the bit part, is not as thin and not just on this tiny little rotating piece, because my concern was that that was going to pinch her, and she's got very sensitive bigger cheeks. So I do like that it's a little bit more dispersed out as opposed to the photograph. But also the bit does not look like the photograph. It, just to point out, it is a little bit of a catfish in that manner, in my opinion. But yeah, let's continue back to my first impressions. Just wanted to add that in. It is quite pretty. This does move quite easily for a playful, strong tongue. It's a 5 1/4, or 135 millimeters, 13.5 centimeters. But yeah, we're gonna go feed the ponies some lunch because it's just currently 3:01. And then we'll give Cameo a ride in this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll see if it makes any magical difference. Alright, so when I started my ride in this bit, I didn't show it. I actually kind of only edited in the good parts of this ride, and there was a lot of good parts. This was really only a 30-minute ride, but what I allowed her to do to fully experience the bit was initially I started off just a very lazy, like, trail ride mentality, and we went from there. I kind of slowly sneaked some contact onto her, and when she would relax into the contact and loosen her back, I just gave her all of the reins. I gave her very soft elbows, and slowly, very, very slowly, the give that I give to her will be smaller and smaller and smaller until she does not need to drop her head all the way down to the ground to be released, essentially. So you saw, we tried a little canter. It wasn't really that great. She really tried to rush into the transition and wasn't holding herself accountable. That's okay. You know, I didn't have any big expectations for this ride. I only rode for about 20 to 30 minutes because it was so hot out. And that's honestly not even really ample time to warm her up. So we tried another canter. You could tell she kind of ran into it, but very quickly did a little lead change to get the correct lead. And this is her more difficult direction, so I give her a lot of grace. I did a little half halt, and that was a very telling canter of how she felt about the bit, because a lot of the time she tries to run away with me, and she did at first, and then I think just more as a learned behavior rather than trying to be naughty. And then when she realized she didn't have to evade and run away or bolt or whatever, she was really good and did this really, really quite nice balanced canter. And that's a lot, again, because this is her bad direction. So we did play around with the poles a little bit, but I tried not to do too much. When I did bring her over the poles, I just did a little loose rein kind of deal to let her lift her body and experiment with her body with this new bit and the dressage saddle as well. And she really, really seemed to enjoy it. She was very receptive. She's been experiencing the Masterson method. We had another session the day before this ride, and she did really, really good. I was very, very pleased with the results of this ride. And you'll see shortly, I'm coming back into frame finally. After this clip is my favorite clip of my ride from this day. You can tell I'm sneaking some contact onto her. I'm trying to see if I could get a really nice marchy collected walk, and I'm kind of getting it. You know, it takes time. She's only been backed under saddle for about 6 months now, and this is what I really loved to see. Holy moly, is there potential there. she's she just has this nice floaty trot with these nice big expressive knees, and she just looks like she was born to be in a dressage arena. But it takes so long to get her there. That's the most frustrating part. As you know, this was at the end of my ride. You can tell I'm done. I dismounted after that.
Alrighty, so we finished up riding Miss Cameo. I'm relatively pleased with that ride. She definitely still had some very like typical Cameo moments where she was upset and she wanted me to know that she hates contact, and I said that's too dang bad. But she's quite sweaty. I don't know how long I rode for. I'll have to double check. So we're gonna go untack her. We'll give her some hay, and then we'll see how sound Bam Bam is.
Hello. So it's been like 2 days since I last recorded. I did make the realization, excuse me, like yesterday that I literally have a show next week. In like 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I forgot I signed up for it, to be completely frank. It is a very small local show, and it would just be Cameo doing a green as grass combined test, which is just intro. I believe it's intro B, USDF intro B, and 18-inch, I think, cross rails and 2 verticals. Very easy stuff for her. She's more than ready for that. Honestly, I probably should have entered her in the starter, but I don't think my coach would be very supportive of that. That's okay. We have a thieving ducky back. Horses are eating lunch. We're gonna try and ride, but it is hot. It is very hot out today. So I think it's 97 degrees or something like that. The humidity is absolutely rank. It rained yesterday hard for an hour, like a complete and total thunderstorm. And of course, that's when I chose to come out and feed my horses dinner. So I was absolutely drenched. So, oops, you could tell I'm literally sitting here doing nothing, watching the horses eat, and I'm sweating. I'm in an Ariat Ventec top, and I'm sweating. Like, this is literally like the thinnest material ever. Like, if you shine a flashlight on it, you can see my skin and my bra through it. So it's super thin, and I'm drenched in sweat. So we're probably, Bam Bam is sound. We're gonna ride her. I think maybe he clipped off a little bit too much toe from her back feet, or she was a little bit like her sole was a little bit thin after losing a shoe last week. She's doing great. We'll ride Cameo in the new bit and see if it was just stranger danger and that's why we were good on the new bit, or if that's something we can do again today. If it is, then I'm very excited for the show next week. If not, it's not a big deal. She's still learning how to carry herself correctly, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how it went 2 days ago when I rode her. And I do have a client horse to ride. Tomorrow I will have 2 client horses to ride. And I think I'm technically teaching a lesson tomorrow. We have a duck trying to come steal food. I don't like when he comes to steal food because he's very rude about it and he will shove Bam Bam off of her bowl to steal her food. So I try not to be mean to him, but he's a little bit mean to my horses, so I'll get back to you guys.
Alrighty, you guys. So I have Bam Bam with me. We are in some mismatched tack. It's also really hot out, so we're gonna keep this session short. And she is also in the Envy Motion dressage saddle. She goes in Cameo's old bit right now. We've kind of been teaching her how to go in it. And so she's in mismatched tack, so she's got a brown bridle on. This will be her first ride back from having a few days off this past week from being lame. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't roll my stirrup down. Don't take me to the camera. Okay. These stirrups feel so short on her. I always forget that she's such a flat horse in comparison to her sister. So I can like use all of my rein on her. This also feels crooked. I don't know. I'm probably crazy. So this will be her first ride back. We've got her boyfriend on one side and her sister on the other. Or her child, I guess, is what I've been calling him because they're co-parenting. I'm trying to record my exercise on my Apple Watch since I cannot record my ride right now. Equestrian sports. Open goal. I like that Apple has equestrian sports, but I feel like they're not that accurate. Like I feel like there's no way that sometimes I've burnt like 500 calories. Let's see if she neck reins. She's not as good at it. She mostly goes where she wants to go unless told otherwise. She's funny though. So this is a full metal bit. Full metal jacket, no. Full metal bit. Big gust of wind. But this horse would be like killer in a hunter ring. Anyway, it's just it's a loose ring or an O-ring miler dupe. I think it's technically a Western bit because it's the Hylason version, but it's the same thing. It's a loose ring with a low port, a barrel in the center. It has like 2 copper bars on either side of her gums, or her bit line, or whatever it's called. Oh, the horse is next door running. All right, let's take up a little bit of contact. So with this heat, I just keep sessions short for not only my sake, but for the horse's sake. Now, I've been doing a lot of talk about Cameo, and I don't think I've ever really shown my riding on Bam Bam or spoken much about Bam Bam. Bam Bam is also a 9-year-old off the track thoroughbred. She was actually a successful racehorse though. No shade to Cameo. She was a very successful racehorse. So she was my second ever thoroughbred restart. Third restart in general, because my very first horse was a rescue, a kill pen auction horse, and came to me probably a 2 on the Hennick scale, and restarted him. He unfortunately had very limited capabilities, so after I restarted him, I adopted him out to a sanctuary. For light trail riding, and I did not want to do light trail riding at the time, unfortunately, but I do have like a buyback with him. So like if he ever needed a place to come back to, he would always come back to me. And honestly, nowadays, back then I couldn't use a horse that needed light work. Nowadays I probably could use a horse that, in my lesson program, because I have so few lesson horses, and he would probably be a pretty good one for a beginner intermediate. So I just try and get her bendy and get her to stretch out. She's a very strong mare. And she's not really used to this bit. And also this is her first ride coming back into work, so I'm not taking it too hard on her. She requires a little bit of finesse sometimes coming back into work because she can be quite hard and she requires a lot of outside aids, and she's also very strong. She wants to move flat because she's been off the track, and she's like a very stereotypical thoroughbred in that manner. Whereas Cameo is not a very stereotypical thoroughbred, in my opinion at least, from the restarts I've done and the experience I've had. And while I've only owned 3 thoroughbreds total, there must be something really bothering her back there. I've only owned 3 thoroughbreds total. I actually did work as an exercise rider for a reseller. Good. So she prefers me posting my trot. She hates my sitting trot, whereas Cameo loves my sitting trot. She still seems a little off. Hold on. Let's see if it's just her doing a little head bobble from being hesitant to take contact. I just popped my ankle. That didn't feel great. And she's one that also, I know how to this horse like the back of my hand. And so I find that I'm normally a pretty rider on her. Hey. Hey. There we go. There we go. There you go. Yeah. So give her a second to be a little bit long and low to really stretch out her back. She appreciates that, but she has to remain respectful of it. You know, she's gonna be long and low.
So, unfortunately, with the heat, my phone totally overheated. And I only got about 8 minutes of riding, but that was the vast majority of the ride. I rode for a whopping 15 minutes. I was pretty happy with it. It wasn't Bam Bam's typical really great ride, but after having a week off, her first ride back after having a week off is normally not that great. She gets quite strong and overall is just like a little bit not there with me, which was very characteristic of her. So the ride after this, the day after this, her ride was perfect. I literally could not complain at all. She comes right back into work really lovely. When she does have time off, that first ride is always pretty characteristically not the greatest. She doesn't really take the contact nicely. She is very strong. She doesn't want to bend. She doesn't want to round. She picks up her feet quite nicely. So normally what I just do is I just ride to ride because I know the next day she'll come back 100%. It's just, she just doesn't want to focus the first ride back. We sometimes will try a little bit of long and low, but usually not even that will work. The most we can get is like some pretty stiff contact, not relaxing through the back. And she did pretty good overall. I mean, again, it was so hot out. I did not have any goals for this ride other than to ride a sound horse. So, yeah. Back to the video.
Wait, I'm an influencer now, so I have to influence. You can see my Paradis back on track helmet. That's the AC unit. It's so loud, but it feels so good. You can see I'm drenched in sweat. As I've said for the millionth time, we got, I think this is Ariat free ride breeches. And then my dirty Ariat Heritage boots with some, I think these are Centaur spurs.
Hey, don't hurt him now.
Alrighty, so Miss Bam Bam's been ridden. Miss Cameo's been ridden. We are going to prep the ladies' dinner because it is now 5:30. And then once the ladies have eaten, we will go over next door to go ride a client horse, Miss Mo. Hopefully it is, sorry, this saddle pad was sitting out in the sun to dry off. Hopefully her arena is dry enough and it starts cooling down soon. I think it will. Overall, as far as ride reviews go, very pleased with both of the ladies. Bam Bam was a little bit stiff and hesitant, a little bit resistant to contact, but that's very typical of her. Coming back into work, she can be very heavy, and by heavy I mean like to my aids. So we'll go soak some horse feed, and then we will let the ladies out to enjoy. Well, I might just go ahead and feed them dinner now. Yeah, I think that's the plan, so I can go ride next door and then get out of here. I have to do some homework, and then I have to do some paperwork stuff for taxes and pay some bills. Fun adult stuff unrelated to horses. Talk to you guys later. Alrighty, y'all. It's been probably one of the most inconvenient days possible. I did not have any time to record at the horse show, and honestly, it's such a small event, I think you guys would have been bored anyway. So, and probably a little bit disappointed at my performance. So let's just have a sit down and chat about the realities of thoroughbreds and training, really, not thoroughbreds. This isn't a breed specific thing. This is just bringing along. Any green horse is going to have its ups and its downs and high highs and low lows, and not all of it is magical. You do have those magical moments a lot of the times. And I think a lot of you guys can tell that Cameo is just a more challenging type for me. And I also don't give her a lot of grace at times because she has come so far in such a short period of time. But anyway, if you hear water, there's like a little leak right here. So yeah, we got to the show a little bit late. I would have liked maybe a little bit more time, but not by much. And honestly, the steward was like, we can push you back if needed. And I was like, cool, great. She got off the trailer. She wouldn't let me catch her this morning. So I think I've only had this problem with this horse 2 times, and both times were within the first week I moved them to this facility, and she didn't understand the schedule yet, and that was like 4 months ago. So she knows the schedule. And today, that should have just been my warning sign that she was going to be a menace today. She wouldn't let me catch her. I had about 40 minutes to get up, go, and leave. The well technician that was supposed to come out and call me in the morning also didn't come. So that's the second well technician that's ghosted me. Called him like 5 times, nothing. Straight to voicemail every time. Left him a message, texted him, told him like, hey, let me know when you're on the way. Nothing. He finally just called me back about 30 minutes ago, and it is almost 5 o'clock. So I had to make a very upset post on Facebook, like in the local city group, and I was like, look, I need a well tech to come out. I'm on my 3rd day of no water. I've been ghosted twice. Someone please reach out to me. And so I had someone call me and say that they could come out tomorrow morning, and that's the third time that's happened. So I was like, okay, cool. I will say that you're good to come over, but let me see what else is out there. So I have someone that said they're going to be there in about 2 hours. And so if he doesn't show up, then we'll just use the guy in the morning. If he doesn't show up, then I don't know. I'll just burn the house down and be a hobo. I'm at a loss. Anyway, we get to the show. I finally get her. I pick her up. She doesn't have time to eat breakfast because she's done run for me for about an hour. So there goes about 30.
My mic cut out. I'm not entirely sure what I'm saying here. I think I'm talking about the show, how she didn't have time to eat breakfast, that she was really tense. Anyways, I'm gonna cut this video short. I didn't realize, I think my mic died. So I have to charge it, and yeah, I also recorded like a 5 to 8 minute video of me reviewing the dressage ride. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of the dressage ride because I was solo. I didn't bring anyone with me. I didn't have my coach. I didn't have anyone. I was entirely alone. So unfortunately, I didn't have anyone to record. Someone did take some pictures of our jumping round, but I literally did the jumping round in my dressage saddle, and they were cross rails, so I'm probably not going to buy them, unfortunately. Even though I really love the photographer, it was a mess. It was a mess. So with all that being said, I do have some ride footage from my second ride in the new bit that I'm going to go over my dressage test while you guys are watching my second ride. Obviously, it's not the show ride, so I am sorry about that, but we did do the 2023 USDF Intro Level Test B. The collective marks we got for Gates, freedom, and regularity. Freedom is underlined. I think that's just referring to Cameo's tension. We got a 6.5. Her impulsion, desire to move forward with suppleness of the back and steady tempo. Suppleness of the back was underlined twice. We got a 5.5. Submission, acceptance of steady contact, attention, and confidence. Steady contact and confidence were underlined. Cameo spent the entire test screaming. She screamed a lot. There was a horse there that she knew, and she absolutely lost her mind because the other horse there that she knew was a little 5-year-old mare that was going to her first show and was also freaking out. And so I think that energy was not very conducive to her. And it was very upsetting because we had worked very hard the past 2 weeks and the past week with the new bit, and having gotten her very well acquainted, and she had been accepting the bit really nicely. She had been using her back, she had been using her hind end. She was doing this nice impulsive trot with these nice expressive knees, and I was so excited to show it off, and that didn't get to happen. And that seems to be a recurring theme for Cameo and I, that she's just challenging, and it just sucks. We got her going really good in the warm-up, but let's move on. Rider's position, keeping in balance with the horse, I got a 7. Rider's effectiveness of aids, correct bend and preparation of transitions, got a 6. For geometry and accuracy, correct size and shape of circles and turns, I got a 6.5. So for the judges' further remarks, she wrote, soft rider, tense horse today. Needs to move more freely forward with relaxation over top line, which is fair. Our subtotal was a 96.5. Anyways, moving on. The 2023 USDF Intro B. Motion 1, A, enter working trot rising. X, halt through medium walk. Salute, proceed, working trot rising. We got a 5.5, unsteady, not straight. For movement 2, At C, track left, working trot rising. We got a 6, tight top line was the judge's remark. For movement 3, E, circle left 20 meters, working trot rising. 5.5, tight back, circle not round. That was my fault. Another thing, I almost forgot to mention this. We have only ever done this dressage test, all of my dressage tests, all in the 20 by 40 meter arena. And I get there and I warm up. I'm running a little bit behind, and I talk to the steward, and she's like, so you're going to be headed in here. And she points to the big ring. And I'm like, no, you must be wrong. Because for the green as grass tests, we always do them in the small one. And she was like, yeah, but they sent out an email last week saying that they actually changed it. And so you'll be in the big arena. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't read that email because I'm an idiot. So this was our first competition, first time riding in the big arena. She actually did pretty good, all things considered, but I messed up my geometry of the first circle because I'm not used to the extra letters in the ring. And so when I went to go turn my circle, I was like, I feel like I'm making my circle a little bit big. And I look over and I realize I'm like way past the letter. I think it's P that I had to for the first half of the circle, for the first circle. And I was like way past. I was like, ah, crap. turn. Yeah, anyway, that was my fault. That's not her fault. Anyways, for between K and A, medium walk, 5.5. She had short, tight strides, not to F. So she didn't get all the way to F. Which, I guess... Oh, I did the free walk at the wrong letter. I just realized that because of the extra letters. Oops. Oopsies. Anyway, 5, F to E, free walk. We got a 6, needs stretch over top line. I was genuinely surprised by that because I thought her free walk was pretty good, but what do I know, I guess. Then E to H, medium walk, 6.5, tense. 7, between H and C, working trot rising. 5.5, tight top line, short strides. 8, at B, circle right 20 meters, working trot rising. We got a 5.5, needs longer, more relaxed top line and strides. 9, A to X, down center line, halt through medium walk, salute. We got a 7, tense but balanced halt. I felt like she was being a little bit generous there. I honestly am surprised I got a 7. I was a little bit surprised. Overall, I thought she had done a pretty decent test, but I guess not. I guess I needed to post a little bit bigger to get that bigger trot, and that's my fault. And I think her being very freaked out really didn't help me because I was in a very calm mindset that day. And so her coming, and normally she feeds off of me, and I think yesterday I was feeding off of her, unfortunately, because she was screaming every 5 seconds, and I wasn't even anxious. I was upset because I was so excited to go do this show and show off of the hard work and the breakthrough that we had just had. For her to just like not be present at all, I was very, very frustrated. And I spent a lot of the ride that day just saying, okay, I'm just going to force myself to be soft. Just be soft. And we got the remark that I was soft. I was not very offended overall. I was more offended by the fact that there was that green horse there. And to make matters even better, that green horse, the person with the horse, was right next to the dressage arena. So she had a full view of it all happening. And I was upset by that, to say the least, because I think if that horse had not been there, I think it honestly would have been a pretty good dressage test. She honestly got a better score at the Carolina Horse Park because I think she totaled a 39.688 after her jumping round, which she went clear. So, yeah, she had a 38.1 at the horse park, and she got a 39.6 here, which is... I'm not used to scores that high. I have to just calm down because she did really good. It's just... my expectations are too high, I think. I think I need to settle down and just take a dang breather. So, that does conclude the vlog. But I do have some really exciting news to share. And I know it was a very boring vlog. So with that being said, I am not going to share my exciting news today. I am going to share it next vlog. And that should be a little bit more exciting. So if you've watched this far along my very, very boring hour-long vlog, thank you. I'm sorry I did not have anything more exciting to share. I hopefully will be having help at horse shows starting very soon. I will be taking someone under my wing for my lesson program. At least I'm hoping. I don't know how true that is. But in the future, I do anticipate to have more more help at shows. And also for these smaller shows, it's really... I don't feel the need to always share these small shows. I mean, I've shown at this venue 6 times now. Her dressage scores are steadily improving, especially the geometry, because she's been getting more and more easy to steer. But I think this was only her second combined test, and so I'm not... I'm just being a hater to be a hater. I need to stop. So, stay tuned.